All right. Peace, love, blessings, and transcendence, everyone. This is going to be a YouTube topic video about the planets being in retrograde. So we're looking at retrograde planets 2019. And if you want to do further research, you can at www.freeastrology123.com, and that's where I found my information, and you can go back and you can read for yourselves and dig a little deeper. But I've got the main points here that I wanted to share with you guys, and so let's get into it. And I'll also write the website information in the description box. Okay, so now let's talk about the first retrograde. It was Mercury. So, a little information about Mercury being in retrograde, and what led me to do this topic is because there are a lot of people right now that are experiencing a lot of down feelings. They're in a bit of a funk, and they may not understand or they may not know why, and it's because of these retrogrades. And I know some people may come across this video and they're like, oh, I don't believe in that. Okay, cool. You know, believe and continue to believe in whatever it is that you believe in. I'm not trying to change your beliefs or your belief system. Continue to feel the way you feel about certain issues and topics. It is what it is, because this is a conscious spiritual channel. So that's mainly what this channel focuses on and what it talks about. So if you come across it and you find it interesting, cool. If you don't find that it resonates with you, that's still cool. But I understand that everyone's not going to understand and believe that the planets, that your astrological sign, and that the moon does have an effect on your emotions in your life. Okay? So if you don't believe it, that's cool. But so let's get into it, all right? So that's my disclaimer. So whenever Mercury goes into retrograde, we can expect haphazard mistakes, misunderstandings, and unintentional communication and transport problems. So let's stop right there and let's think about this and let's talk about this, because I've experienced something a little similar to this, which was misunderstandings and unintentional communication. Let's put it this way. Oh, focus, camera, focus. I need my camera to focus. Sometimes it goes out of focus. Okay, so let's get into this. And I'm going to give you the dates. Okay, so Mercury was in retrograde, and it's going to be in retrograde 3 times this year. So we've already experienced the first retrograde, and that happened from May 5th of 2019 to through March 28th, 2019. Okay, the next one that's coming up, the second one, is going to be July 7th, and that's going to be in the constellation of Leo, to August 1st, and that's going to be in the constellation of Cancer. And the third one for Mercury in retrograde this year will be from August 31st, which is Halloween, in Scorpio, until November 20th in Cancer. And so I'm going to go back and revisit these notes and this information as the months and times approach closer to, we go back and review. Yeah, so July 7th, that's coming up within a few days. Okay, and now with my experience, and I believe that this misunderstanding and this an unintentional communication is in full effect now. But yeah, from July 7th in the constellation of Leo until August 1st. So what this means for us is that we are going to have to be careful not to sign any contracts, start new projects, or buying expensive items, especially property. Now, if you are already in the process of doing that, what it tells us is that it's not all bad. So whatever you started before this particular retrograde, go ahead and finish it out. And you should be able to finish it out effectively and without any issues or without any problems, and you should be able to complete it. So say, like, for example, you were signing off on a new house and you did this before the retrograde started, so everything should come through just fine with that. Fingers crossed. All right, so let's get back to the the misunderstandings without getting too deep. And I think that whatever that transpired with my situation, my issue, and I'm thinking that it had something to do with the retrograde that is on its way coming for July 7th with Mercury, okay, and that dealt with misunderstandings. I'm going to continue to have this camera staying focused. Okay, all right. So during this period, Mercury retrograde, July 7th through August 1st, it's not recommended to share news with others, and it is a good time to work on what's already at hand, or whatever you already have planning, or that whatever you already planned on working on. It's a good time to work on that quietly and at a steady pace. Okay, so say, like, for example, you're working on getting that music contract. Okay, it's not a good idea, and it's not a good time to post on social media, hey, I'm in the works of getting ready to sign this contract, for such and such record label. It might be a good idea to keep that under wraps until after August 1st of this year, 2019. Okay, all right. So this year, 2019, Mercury went into retrograde 3 times. So I'm just reiterating. I know I stated that earlier. That was from May 5th to March 28th. And I want you to take some time and think back. Well, that's been a while back. What kind of things may have transpired back then that may have had an effect on you in decision making. Reflect on that and then move forward. And my suggestion is, if you find yourself in a funk or in a situation, meditate, pray to whatever God that you believe in, that you pray to. And if you don't believe in any God, or you're not a spiritual person, then take things as they come. Okay, but if you are a spiritual person, meditate, pray to your ancestors and to the universe for guidance. Okay, religious people, continue to pray to Jesus, and pray to whatever entity or deity that you worship. Okay, but all right, so that is for Mercury in retrograde. So Mercury in retrograde, the first lasted for 23 days, and that was from May 5th to March 28th. The second one, July 7th to August 1st, is going to last for 25 days. So you got to be mindful of that. And the third one, from October 31st to November 20th, is going to last for 20 days. So that's how long Mercury, the planet Mercury, is going to be in retrograde in these specific constellations. And what that means when we say July 7th, Mercury is in retrograde in Leo, the constellation of Leo. To me, that just means that it's in that astrological sign. So it may affect certain signs more than it would other signs. So Leos and Cancers may be affected more from July 7th to August 1st with that, okay? So you may just feel the effects a lot more. And right now, and I'm going to get to this later on, but I just wanted to state that right now we are in Pluto retrograde. So I'm going to get to that in a little bit. Okay. And I am neither a Leo or a Cancer, but yes, I am an Aries, but and how I stated with miscommunication, maybe what caused a rift earlier in my situation, misunderstandings. Um, I am my sun sign. I wish this camera would stop blurring up on me. Okay, so a little more about myself and why I feel as though this is affecting me. Mercury in retrograde affecting me to a certain point is because although my sun sign is Aries, I am a Taurus moon, but I am a Leo ascending sign. So I think that's why that affected me. And I'm going to get into more of that as well. My rising moon, my sun sign, my rising moon, and my ascendant. My ascendant is Leo. And I'm going to do a video on that as well. I might do that tomorrow since I have some time on my hands and I'm on summer break from work. Working in the education system, so work at school. So I'm off, so I got some time on my hands. All right. So I might just get into that tomorrow for tomorrow's video. All right, let's keep it moving. Now, with Mercury in retrograde, it's long enough to cause some serious misunderstandings, bumps in the road, and mishaps. So make sure these days are marked on your calendar and make sure you prepare yourself. And one way I always say pray, meditation, talking to the ancestors, but mainly, just taking a deep breath and just going within to kind of clear out your mind and to have those energies reset, if you will, positive energies. All right. Now, if you're wondering what I am doing, burning sage. Now, believe it or not, this is sage, and it's also good for clearing out negative energy. But in addition to that, it pretty much keeps these insects away too. Believe it or not. So, so since I've been burning this, I've only seen like one fly, and the insects have been staying at bay. So I like that. So this is good stuff, and it's strong. So that's why I like to burn it outside a lot instead of in the house. But yeah. Okay, moving right along. So up next is Uranus or Uranus retrograde. And according to freeastrology123.com, where I got my information from, it takes about 84 years to complete one orbit around the sun. So it takes the planet Uranus about 84 years to complete one orbit around the sun. This means it spends about 7 years in each zodiac sign. Okay, so every year Uranus goes retrograde for approximately 148 days. Wow, now this doesn't affect everybody on the same level. Okay, everybody's going to have, different emotions, different effects, with all of these particular sign, retrogrades and whatnot. All right. So during this time, our inner ability to be free is tested. So put these dates in your calendar. I'm going to give you the dates in just a moment to make sure you are not negatively influenced by outside forces and go against yourself at this time. So in other words, believe in yourself, use your own judgment, and trust yourself. Okay. Don't rely on outside forces or these negative forces. You may have a negative relative or a negative friend who may be telling you, hey, for example, Oh yeah, she did you dirty. Yeah. You should go over there and you should talk to her. You should confront her about how dirty she did you, how wrong she did you. That may not be such a good idea. So you want to rely on your inner self, okay, much more than outside forces during this time. So the first time was January 1st, and it was in the constellation of Aries. Uranus was to January 6th in Aries. That only lasted for 5 days. So the next one coming up is going to be in August. It's going to be August 12th. And this is going to be in the sign of Taurus until January 1st, 2020. In Taurus. So these Uranus retrograde is going to be in the constellation of Taurus from August 12th to January 1st, 2020. All right, and like I stated before, I'm going to go back and refer to these notes coming up to the upcoming retrograde for these particular planets. Okay, and we'll go from there. So next up is Saturn. When Saturn retrogrades, long-term projects, goals, and wants, as well as our relationship to authority figures and responsibilities, needs to be examined very closely. A good time to review and renew our lifelong commitments. Okay, so whatever you have committed to, say like you're committed to a marriage or a partnership, a business partnership or relationship, is a good time to review it and renew it, to look over it, your lifelong commitments, because a lot of times we get ourselves involved in these commitments and sometimes things can go awry, stagnant, and we just need to reevaluate. In other words, with what's going on in our lives at that particular moment in time. And Saturn goes in retrograde from April 30th in the constellation or the sun sign of Capricorn, April 30th to September 18th, also stating in the sign of Capricorn. So that's 141 days. But you're saying like April 30th to September 18th? Yeah. 141 days. That's a long time. So, April 30th has passed. So we're still experiencing some of those issues concerning Saturn being in retrograde for 141 days. So you mathematicians out there, you can figure out how many more days left we have until September 18th, and then we'll be done with the Saturn retrograde, okay? All right. Up next is Jupiter. So when Jupiter is in retrograde, that means we need to take a deeper look at our belief systems, visions, and the ways we relate to life, or the different ways that we relate to life. Okay, so, and that was, it first went retrograde April 10th of this year, 2019, in Sagittarius, to August 11th in Scorpio. So the last day for Jupiter in retrograde is August 11th. And this, like I stated before, it affects each and every person on the planet in different ways. You may not feel anything right now, so it may not be affecting you that deeply. But when there's a point where something triggers or something happens within your life or within yourself, then you may say, okay, this may be the reason or the cause of it, because there's always a cause and effect, for something. Okay. And so, once again, Jupiter, we need to take a deeper look at our belief systems, visions, and the way we relate to life. Okay. And Jupiter is in retrograde until August 11th in Scorpio. All right. Up next is Neptune. When Neptune is in retrograde, it's associated with mysticism, spirituality. So when Neptune goes into retrograde, our inner life is challenged. So you may be feeling the need to meditate more, feeling the need to pray more, feeling the need to connect and contact with your higher self, from your spirit guides, okay, things of that nature, and your ancestors, okay. So it may be a stronger feeling or stronger energy that you're needing to connect, okay, to something higher, you know, than yourself, okay. And that happens from June 21st in Pisces, and June 21st has already passed. So until November 27th in Pisces, okay? And Pluto has to do with how we relate to changes. And that's happening April 24th through October 3rd in Capricorn. Both are in Capricorn. From the last one was April 24th in Capricorn, and it will end. Pluto will end October 3rd. So that's what I was getting at with like if you're feeling a certain type of way, you know, towards someone else or toward yourself, maybe even. What that's telling us is that darkness is trying to come forward. And what we need to do is we need to make sure that we are releasing, meditating, that we're releasing and healing, not overly focusing on past hurt. Okay, so Pluto retrograde from now until October 3rd, and Mercury retrograde beginning July 7th and ending August 1st. So these two are kind of together, they're coinciding. So with the miscommunication with Mercury, July 7th, as being a part of, you know, some of the issues that some may face, and with Pluto, you know, not letting darkness come forward, and to make sure that we are releasing and healing. So to me, this is concerning me. I don't know how it's affecting you or how it will affect you if you happen to come across this video and watch it. But I can only speak for myself. For me, I felt like Mercury in retrograde and Pluto in retrograde, for me, it's kind of like on certain levels, it's kind of coinciding with each other, you know. All right, so that's all 9 planets in retrograde for this year. And each year planets go into retrograde. Each year, you know, we experience different energies, different vibes. So, you know, a lot of times, sometimes we get what's the word I'm looking for? Sometimes we get I guess a feeling or a, I don't really want to use the word warning, but sometimes we get a feeling or an idea, I guess, if you will, of how, okay, I could use this. I'll use this word. Sometimes we can get a premonition of how certain things are going to go down, or how, you know, we get signs, you know, through our dreams, you know, and through energy. I'll put it that way. That's the best way that I can really kind of explain it. and get it out there to you guys. But as I stated before, throughout the coming months, I'll go back and I will pay a visit to the planets in retrograde. So I may have some more insight on what's going on. And remember, I can only take it from my perspective in my life, because I don't know what's going on in your life and from your perspective. So when you come across this video, you can say, oh, okay, yeah, I see how this correlates, or how this is relating to what's going on within my cipher. So you kind of have to look at it from that perspective and take it from that point. But anyway, thank each and every one of you for stopping by and checking out this video. If you like what you see, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. And to my new subscribers, thank you so much for taking the time out to subscribe to this old Southern girl right here. I appreciate it. And tell your friends about the channel too. And tell them to come by and check it out. And so that's what I have right now for the planets in retrograde for 2019. I'm going to get into my sun sign, got a note, sun sign, moon sign, and ascendant. An ascendant sign. Okay, so I'll probably work on that video for you guys on tomorrow. Once again, peace, love, blessings, and transcendence. And side note, special message, I've got nothing but love for you. All right, so I'm sorry that this is blurry. Come on, there we go. All right, peace, love, blessings, and transcendence. Thank you for watching.